Hello humans, this is Random Visage and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be playing medieval fantasy, but this time we have Rogue's Choice. Last time we finished Wizard's Choice, which was a good game. The ending was mildly weak, but the overall setting was really good. I loved the game and I hope you all loved it too. Now let's play Rogue's Choice. I was thinking of playing the prequel of the Demon's Choice, but the main character would be Azazel, which would mean it would be a female. And I generally play male characters. I like to portray myself as them, or like put myself in their situation to understand the situation better, at least in these role-playing games, because that's kind of the point. So that's why I'm not going to be playing that. This one, it looks like we are male, so I'm gonna be playing this one. So Rogue's Choice, Chapter 1 by Sam Landstrom. Gods, the Duke's men are greedy, you think. Hopefully you're done paying bribes for the day. The guards demand all your money and then all your weapon in return for letting you through the gate. You're glad they didn't discover your hidden coin purse and dagger. At least they can be bought, you think. You understand men like that. Men like that will keep their mouth shut if anyone comes sniffing around for deserter from Lord Wellington's army. Okay, so as far as I can tell, there's an army, and I am someone who deserted from the army, and now I'm trying to get into certain city or something, but we have to obviously pay them some bribes to let us in, considering we are someone who deserted, so that's against the law, obviously. Next, let's see. The tales you have heard of Ring City are true. It is massive and alive. Street vendors everywhere, horses and wagons charging through the crowd, shouting, laughing. The smell of horse manure and worse fills the air. Despite the stench, you smile when you see the sign for the Green Dragon Inn. The painting of the dragon and the letters underneath are so worn they can barely be made out. Ring City, we are back in Ring City. The one with the one from the Wizard's Choice. This is happening after the Wizard's Choice, or like in another universe, just the same universe, but the Wizard's Choice stuff we are not going to talk about, or has that not happened just of yet? That is going to happen in the future, because if this is happening after Wizard's Choice, then I would hope then they would make some like a little bit of a reference to that one, like, oh, there was a very powerful wizard here at one point or something like that. Who knows. Let's see. A drink at last, you think, as you enter the inn. It's only afternoon, yet there are customers scattered around the large hall. The fire is unlit on the hearth, and the air is cool. The barkeep wipes a glass as he watches over a tray of men playing cards at a nearby table, their skin grimy and their hair unkempt. Men from the silver mines, you think. A serving wench wearing a stained apron walks past the miners, balancing a tray with tall mugs of ale, what looks like hunks of cheese. Like, I don't even understand how people eat cheese like straight up. It just tastes so fucking bitter. I once tried a cheese slice and I was like, holy shit, this is bitter as fuck. How the fuck do you even eat that shit? Like, seriously, it's really bitter. A serving wench wearing a stain. Yeah, that's already there. One of the miners casually swipes at a rump but misses. So he tries to slap that ass but misses, alright. There are people at several other tables. An attractive pair of richly dressed young women catches your eye. Why are they in this like really like worn down inn if like they're rich women or whatever? Maybe it's actually the large golden bracelets around the delicate arm of one that catches your attention. The women lean into each other, chanting merrily. There's an unopened bottle of wine and a pair of empty wine glasses between them. A muscular soldier sits at another table across from a woman with long black hair that matches her billowing cloak. He's not in armor, only a tunic, but his unsheathed sword is on the table. A muscular soldier sits at another table across from a woman with long black hair that matches her billowing cloak. I forgot what billowing means. I've heard that word, but I'm forgetting what billowing means. From the insignia on his cloak, you know him as one of the Duke's men. The woman might be pretty, but her face is pinched, as though deep in thought. Of course, you have been marching with men at arms over the last few months. Every woman is comely. A mangy dog makes the rounds between tables, looking for scraps or a scratch. The soldier looks up at you, a smile lingering on his face from his conversation. Your stomach clenches. Uh, the soldier is looking at me, a smile lingering on his face from his conversation. Your stomach clenches. I don't think it's a good idea to ignore him. He can just get up and just ask me for money. So let's nod at him with greeting. I will not appear afraid, you think. He nodded at the soldier. His eyes widened slightly, as though only now noticing you. He does not nod back, rather, he holds your gaze for a tense moment. You turn your attention away from him. To the bar straight ahead, take what you hope is confident steps forward, concentrating on the aroma of cooking meat, and you do your best to smile. So he did not even notice me, as though not only now. So maybe he did not notice us. I think this is the best option. I hope it's the better option. Certainly, he will mind his comely companion over me. You reassure yourself. You risk a glance back at the soldier. Thankfully, you are right. His attention is back to the cloaked woman, and they are speaking quietly. As you stride forward into the inn, you again consider your situation. You're low on gold in a big city. I think I had 10 gold and they took 4 from, I think. As you stride forward into the inn, you consider your situation. You're low on gold, and in a city like this one, that's a very bad thing. If you don't want to if you don't want to be sleeping out in the streets tonight, you're going to need to make some coin. By the way, I was wondering, what are going to be our stats like? When we were a wizard, initially we were extraordinarily physically weak. By the end of it, we were a little bit better, like more like average, I think, rather than super weak. This one, considering it's a rogue, probably he's handsome and got some charming skills, or like people skills are higher. The damage output of the fucking wizard was certainly higher. I highly doubt the damage output would be similar. And I think, by the way, this one has a lot of chapters. I think there's like 10 or something. So this is going to be going on for a while. I'm not going to be as actively recording unless I find the story really compelling. Who knows? Maybe I'll find the story compelling. I mean, Wizard's Choice was really good. But whatever. Let's see. If you don't want to be sleeping out in the street tonight, you're going to need to make some coin. Far worse than sleeping in the gutter. However, it is missing your payment. 10 gold pieces by sundown tonight, or I may as well slit my own throat, you think. 10 gold by sundown tonight, and another payment every new moon until your debt is paid. That was the arrangement with House Vrudahir. Not that you had a choice. There's no way to make that kind of coin in the next few hours in any honest way. You walk up to a table of miners. May I join you? One of the miners, a blond man with gray in his beard, looks up at you. Of course, boy, and bring your mother so she can sit on my lap so I can suckle her teat. One of the other three laughs, his filthy bread dropping crumbs onto the table. The third miner just stares at his card, his eyes half glazed, seemingly oblivious. This game of card may require an upfront investment. You could buy them a round of drinks to buy in at the table while increasing your opponent's intoxication, or you could simply ask them to join. So I can buy them around. I think that would be a good idea. I could get them some money, and I wonder how big gold is going to be in this one. Considering last time, like mana was like a huge thing. I wonder how big gold is going to be. I think spending some gold would be a good idea. Um, was there something I was going to talk about? Something, yeah, this arrangement. I didn't talk about this arrangement. So, as far as I can tell, so we are someone who deserted an army and now running and went to the ring city, and we have bribed the guard with 4 gold coins, and now we have to pay gold coins, 10 gold coins today, and then every new moon in 15 days, every month, once every month, you're going to have to pay 10 gold every single time a new moon appears. Yeah, that would be once a month. Okay, so now we have to make the choice whether we want to buy them a drink using 1 gold, or ask them if I can join them in the game. I think buying them 1 gold would be a better option. You gotta invest as much as possible to get the gains. Because in the last game, this was a major thing that I was really not up for spending gold or anything of the sort in the initial game, and because of that, I usually lose too much life or something, and then later in the game, and just like it fucks me over. So I'm gonna buy them a round of drinks with 1 gold. What kind of drink will you buy? They're drinking ale right now. You could give them another round of that, or you could spend a little more and buy a round of harder stuff. Fuck. Oh, okay, this is a difficult one. Whether I should buy them ale. I need to have 10 gold at the end of the day. So that's a big thing. So right now I'm gonna get the at 4 gold if I buy them harder stuff. But that will also make the game easier. But hopefully the game will not make me play it because I don't know most card games. I barely ever played card games. So let's take a pick and see if we can hopefully not die because of lower gold. Let's take the harder stuff. A round of dragon's fire for my friends here, you shout to the barkeep, perhaps with a bit more bravado than you intended. The barkeep nods and taps the top of the bar with his finger. You stride over, slap 2 coins down. He smiles a gabbed and broken smile. He has a large scar down his throat. The little lamb breathes fire, says the blond miner, pounding his fist on the table. Good, slurs the glass-eyed miner. I had enough of the watered down piss they call ale around here. The harder stuff, exclaims the blond miner. Respect for elders, a rare thing. These three are pretty well drunk, but the dragon's fire ought to make them quite a bit drunk. I may not even have to cheat, you think? I'm guessing, okay. Okay, yeah, that was a good option. Because I thought if I took them ale, they could have been like, oh, the same shit they're already having, or something along the lines of, okay, why the fuck, sure, the simple normal thing of like, okay, this and that. And then I would have cheated and maybe got caught and get hurt and all that, lost a life or two. So this is good. I got 8 gold and my morale increased by 2. So far so good. You sip your mead slowly. Nevertheless, you start to feel your thoughts begin to thicken, and so you accidentally slip the remainder of your drink across the table. The glass-eyed miner does not notice, but the other two curse at you as they pull their cards off the table. Young and clumsy, says the blonde miner, when you know whom you now know as lender. Pointing at your mug, he slurs, respect, respect every drop. You don't win every hand, but these men are soon paying you well enough that you buy another round. The more they drink, the more brash their bets are, and more importantly, the easier they are to read. Lender taps his finger on the table when he has a good hand. Bent hums softly to himself when he has a strong hand. Torway, Torway? Is it Treeway? The fucking gang thing with the 6 9 or whatever. Turway, the glassy-eyed one, and certainly the drunkest of the trio, turns out to be the hardest to read. His expression never changes, no doubt because he is about to pass out. Aside from the drinks, you've been ordering bread and cheese for yourself to soak up the alcohol and keep your head clear. The barkeep and the serving bench seem pleased that someone is ordering food for a change. The barkeep often the barkeep keeps close to your table and more often than others, watching with his gaped teeth. Evidently, you're the big spender in the room. It occurs to you that you could probably take quite a bit more with the aid of some sleight of hand. You have a high card that stays tucked in your sleeve. When you were in the Lord's army, you said it to you used it for card tricks, something to while away and entertain. However, the mark is easy. Oof. Okay, this is a difficult one. I think if I used card tricks and got gold, I am probably gonna lose gold if I don't do this. But I don't mind that because if I get caught, I'm definitely going to be losing life. So let's just play straight. Or if I don't get caught, if I just get a shit ton of gold all of a sudden, they're probably gonna get violent. So let's just play straight. The miners are drunk, but the barkeep and the serving bench are keeping close eye on you. Big spender or not, no barkeep likes cheat. Cheating causes fight, and no barkeeps likes a fight. You have to play straight. You continue to win at first, getting a fine pile. Then your luck turns. The glassy-eyed miner Turvey gets on a roll, and you can never tell when he's bluffing or not. You decide that it's time to push away from the table and see what else there is to do. The miners jeer at you a bit, obviously disappointed that the pub is walking away with some of their hard-earned coin. You assure them that it was all luck of the fool, and and that you'll certainly be giving them back their coin another day. You motion the server over, tip her well. You hope a little kindness will bring you luck in your new city. You make a show of dropping the silver and a copper on her tray. Let everyone know I am generous, you think. She smiles warmly and gives a deep courtesy before walking away to resume her duties. That was good. I don't know why he exactly tipped the fucking girl, and I don't know if flaunting to everyone like, look, I have money, is a good idea. But still, we got a good bet. We got 14 gold out of it. So, yeah. So I have enough to not sleep on the streets, and I have enough to pay my debt, and I will get a 1 month, lease, so that I can, wait until the next new moon and get on with the quest of getting another 10 gold, which shouldn't be that difficult, hopefully. The inn patrons have changed since you pulled up a seat for the card game. Why did I read it like that? There's a pair of dwarves up at the bar now. Judging by their grubby skin, they're also employed by the local silver mining guild. I think this is the first time we are seeing dwarves. Because in the last game, what did we have? We had demons, we had humans, we had vampires, we had elves, uh, and dragon. Yeah, pretty much that's it. Those are all the different ones that we encountered so far. Well, yeah, now I wonder, in Wizard's Choice, the dragon, Swelak, how strong would he be compared to the other demons like Azazel and Nerul? I don't think anyone in this game, in the last game, could compare to Nerul. I bet she is like the strongest. The only people who could compare to her would be like other deities, but no one we know of. Not even the prince, Nazarul, whatever his name was. Let's see. So we have seen some dwarves now. You take note that they are ignoring the human miners. You're not surprised. Dwarves and humans get along well enough, but dwarves are never exactly friendly in your experience, and they're known to be suspicious of strangers. Nevertheless, they might make a rich mark. Dwarves love gold. The two pretty women are still at the table. They're laughing more freely now, and the motion of their hand as they talk are more relaxed. You notice wedding bands on both. The wine is low in the water between them. You could talk to them. You might even be able to pick a pocket if opportunity presents itself. Hmm. Shouldn't it be like thief's choice then, if we are such a thief? What exactly is a rogue? As far as I know, rogues are used for like agents who have gone missing. So we are someone who went away from the army. So I guess we would be sort of a rogue. Or rogue are used for like thugs and something. So we like that. But if we are thug, I don't think thugs usually, really rob people. But I don't think they pickpocket people. I mean, that wouldn't be much of a thug. It would more of a thief or pickpocket, but whatever. Let's see. The cloaked woman is still at the other table. Thankfully, the soldier in the tunic is gone. Her long black hair covers much of her face, but you can see her scowling lips pointed down at the table. You wonder if she's still nursing that same glass of ale. Maybe you shouldn't risk her, but there is a lot of pockets in that cloak. She might have something valuable in those folds. She's not a mark for me, you think. She was in the company of one of the Duke's soldiers. Besides, you haven't been in the city long enough to yet know who is safe to steal from. Yeah, it's a good idea not to steal from people right now. We have 14 gold, so we should be good. I'm gonna sit down. I've been walking around and I'm getting tired. um, you'll need more than gold to make it in this city. You will need knowledge too. You decide to start with the dwarves. If nothing else, dwarves like a very long time. Dwarves live a very long time. So this pair might know a thing or two about the city and its surroundings if they'll speak to you. You're a pace away before the dwarf nearest to you, nearest your turns, and narrows his what? What? You're a pace away before the dwarf nearest to you, turns and narrows his large dark eyes at you. There's a typo, I think, there. And what about what would you be wanting? He says in a loud, gruff voice. Suspicious creatures, you think. It's like he can smell your intention. You stammer. Was just going to offer to buy you a mug. His bitch twitches. What for? He shouts. Because I'm so pretty? Ha! Shouts the other dwarf, slapping the bar. Every time the nose hair charm them. Oh, never mind them, you say. No, says the first dwarf. By all means, you may buy me a drink. By Bondor's belt, you can buy this one. He raises his mug. I already paid the man, so you may pay me now. You want me to pay you a coin? Is that not the same thing at the end of it all? So he says. His beard is twitching rhythmically. You wonder if this is some sort of silent woven laugh. It is just that I'm new in the city. Oh, that is plain, says dwarf, cutting you off. Ha, shouts the other dwarf, again slapping the table. I like to talk to some men, dwarfs of wisdom, you say. Conversation. Oh well, if a young human wants to chat our ear off, only the top barrel slog will do, says the dwarf. Only the best ale will make listening to that bearable, agrees the other dwarf. The barkeep approaches. What will it be? Greedy dwarves, you think. They want you to buy the best ale in the house. That is difficult. Hmm. I could buy them the best ale in the house, which is 3 gold, but I don't know how much is the charge for staying a night. If the charge for staying a night is 1 gold, then it's fine. But if it's like, if it actually is 4 gold or something, anything more than 1 gold, then I won't be having enough to go and pay the Duke's men. So that is a difficult choice. I think I'm just gonna order a normal ale. Two of your best ale from the middle barrel, you say. The dwarf exchange a few words in their own language, and then the one turns to you. Does the human not understand his own tongue? I said the top barrel. If only my purse matches my love of dwarves, you say. Humans, short on lifespan and short on coins, says the first dwarf, shaking his head. Dwarf shaking his head. I hate saying dwarf. My fucking tongue just does not accept the word dwarf in it. The dwarf, like fucking hell. Shaking his head. Ha! The other slaps the table. Short on beard too. You smile through their taunts, which continue on until the mugs are placed before them. After which they both pause to take a long swallow. The dwarf then bows and introduce themselves as Thulmer, the more talkative and abusive of the pair. Jurum. So Thulmer is the one that is slapping the table. I think the Jorum is slapping the table. And they're so fucking difficult to even pronounce. How am I supposed to pronounce it? Does the H come in, or do you not say the H? Is it like Horum? I might as well call him Whore at this point. Fucking hell. I'm just gonna call him Rum. How about that? Thulmer and Rum. So, what is it that you want to know? Asks Thelmer. He closes his eyes as he sips from his mug. I'm new to the city, you say. What advice do you have for me? A man who pays for advice, says Thelmer. Not the worst sort of human, I suppose. Not the worst sort, not by any length, rejoins Rum. Let us start with the city's name, says Thelmer. Do you know why they call it Ring City? Because of the circular walls, one inside the other, like the rings of a tree stump, you say? Right, says Thelma. 3 rings of the wall. That makes 3 very different parts of the city. The inner ring was the first wall built. Back then it was only a town, called Hell's Gate back then, says Rum. It was well named, always under threat by the brutal giants of the Landers who lived in the nearby mountains, says Thelma. You can understand why the humans needed a high wall. Anyway, as the city grew, a new wall eventually had to be built to contain her people. 3 walls so far. There will be more in the centuries to come. If we keep finding silver, she will grow, says Ram. The point is not the history lesson. The point is that those rings, the outer, middle, and inner, make up very different, what do you humans call it? Social strata, says Ram. Sure, well, different neighborhoods, says Thalmar. The inner ring at the center of the city is for the duke, the nobility, and the servants. What exactly is a duke in a fucking duke? I mean, in a kingdom, there's king, and underneath him is the viceroy. No, I think underneath the king, straight up, is the duke, and underneath the duke is the viceroy. Underneath that would be the baron, I think, and then there's the baronet. I'm not too sure. Where are we now? The middle ring is where well-to-do common. The inner ring at the center of the city is for the duke, the nobility, and the servants. Where we are now, the middle ring is where well-to-do commoners live. Begs the question of how you got in here, says Rum. One does not just walk through the wall gates. Rum and I, even those filthy miners you were playing cards with, are all a bit more than mere miners within the guild. We dwarves are specialists. We tell them where to dig, and those men you are playing cards with, supervise other men. Believe it or not, says Thalmar, his eyebrows raised at you. I thought I was paying for advice, not to answer questions about my business, you say. Thalmar's beard shakes rhythmically. Laughing? This all circles around to my main ingot of advice, says Thelma. Do you know what that is? You shake your head. Do not get yourself killed. He sips from his mug and stares at you. After a few seconds of this, you say, would it please you to be little more trifle more specific? The ring for starters. As I said, the inner ring is for nobility. You better be highborn or have legitimate business with them to walk around in there. Or they stick your head on a pike along the wall, says Rum. The wall of the outer ring, mind you, says Thelmer. The stench will not do for nobles, which brings me to the outer ring. That's where most humans in the city live. It's not the sort of place for a stranger with no friends to stay. Cut your throat for a copper, says Rum. Uh, and do not think you're safe in the middle city either, says Thelmer. Take those two for instance, he says, pointing at the two young women at the table. Not be trying to get into those petticoats, or your severed head will be on the wall by sunset. The wed to men who think they are important, but more importantly, other men think them important. Very well, I will not speak to them. You say, I did not say that. I said, do not try to get into the petticoats. More to the point, do not succeed. Succeed is straight out, says Rum. Have others succeeded? How should I know? Says Thelmer. Well, then, how would you know that suck? What is suck here? Or they how they've succeeded? Okay, I was like succubus. Uh, but if they had succeeded, wouldn't their heads be on a pike? But okay. Bandor's sake, I've lived around your people longer than you. Thelma scolds. I know how humans are. You fight and die over the tall and skinny ones. Uh, Nowadays, thick ones are preferred, and people do prefer them short for the most part. So short and thick is what preferred nowadays. I like them tall and thick, says Rum. I mean, I say that. Ha, nonsense. He slapped the table. But the pair likes to talk, says Salma, and they enjoy a compliment or two. That red one likes to hear herself sing. I saw a boy, might have been a girl, who can tell. I saw a boy tell her she had a fine voice, and she kissed him on his cheek. Boy got a look that was stupid as an iron ingot. Happy, I suppose. Ha! Human always look as stupid as an ingot, says Rum. The two dwarfs clink mugs and drink deep. And there is another one to beware, says Thalma, wiping his mouth and pointing at the loose, lone woman in the dark cloak. That one is always looking for fools to go with her on some fool's errand or another. Want to strike it rich. Not by digging in the ground as an honest dwarf would, you see. No, she wants to slay monsters for the Duke or some other dangerous foolishness. You can be sure. She's an adventurer. You ask, is that what you humans call them? Asked Thalma. To us it is plain, but they are fools. The two dwarfs cling mug. I mean, adventure is pretty cool. I was thinking he was more of a rip-off merchant sort of thing, like a person who would bring you to a black back alley and then get you mugged or something. But I think this is pretty good. The adventurers. Us dwarves are short in stature, but long in life, says Thalma, taking another drink. Humans, on the other hand, tall in stature and short in life, much more suited to perishing on some fool quest. Ha! Rum slaps the table. You will dead soon anyway. You know that the dwarves can be bloodthirsty and reckless as any human, particularly when gold is at stake. The high mountain wars are a fine example. You could call the dwarves on this or let it slide. Okay, so I'm gonna end this episode here. We're gonna see if we will call them out or let it slide in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. The link in the description to my Twitter. There's also a link to my Patreon account where I'm currently playing Sakura Swim Club Uncensored. So you can go check that out. Thanks so much for watching, and bye bye.